Rolling up. Welcome to the Jungle Brothers podcast. It's your co-host, Joey Worthington. We've got Paul Fetafili.
What's up?
And Tiora Ward.
Hello.
Hello, gents. We haven't been together for a while. It's nice to see you guys. I've been away for 2 weeks. Just a couple of quick announcements. 28th of March, we have the RISE Foundation Australia Mental Health Response course. It's a whole bunch to think about, but essentially we have an organisation that specialises in teaching others, like us, how to work with people who might be suffering from any kind of mental health issues. It's really relevant for us as gym owners. We've got all of our coaches attending, but it's also been opened up because we have some extra spots to the public. So if you'd be interested in attending such a thing, if you just for your own knowledge, or if you are working with certain populations, get in touch with us, info@junglebrothers.com, and we can let you know. We have a few spots left at this point. It's coming up in a few weeks. We also have our internship kicking off next week. All the spots are filled, which is super exciting. Got a bunch of cool people from our gym and also outside attending that. I'll be running it for the most part, looking forward to it. We will have another one running later in the year, so if you are interested, also get at us, info@junglebrothers.com. Follow us on Instagram. If you like the episode, give a review, 5 stars, 10 stars, whatever you can. Just hype it up, spread it with your friends, and thanks for listening. Welcome, gents.
Welcome back, Joey.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here. First week back's always I actually get really excited for my first week back.
Yeah.
But usually at like third day in, you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Like it
Not
takes
fit.
a little. Yeah, you're just not used to sort of working. You know.
What'd you do over there?
So I had 2 weeks in Sri Lanka.
What'd you do? What was it? It was a start. Explain to us what it was.
So I run a retreat with a couple friends of ours, so friends of mine, a couple called Josh and Casey. They're into the yoga, the Wim Hof, the breath and meditation type
Josh
stuff.
was a rugby player.
It was a league player.
Rugby league. He played like.
Played for Parramatta, played for Cronulla.
Oh wow.
He's it's really interesting because when you're hanging out with him, if you can get him on a bit of a roll, he'll tell you some of the old stories about how they used to eat and train and just battles on the field, training with, like playing with concussions and like just all that shit. It was a savage time.
But when you look at him now, he doesn't look like a rugby player at all. Like,
No,
you wouldn't know.
Exactly. And that's the most interesting thing is that he had that whole thing and now
He's a good-looking guy.
He's a very good-looking guy.
Ladies love Josh.
I'll be honest.
And he moves really well.
I think I might have said this on the podcast about another dude, but let me just lay it out for 2020. If I had to, hook up with a dude, he'd probably be the dude.
I've heard a lot of women said the same thing after the first training camp. Oh, sorry, the retreat that you guys went on.
Well, let me tell you, part of the thing is he is so open and vulnerable in front of a group of people that it melts your heart.
Right.
Like he will shed tears. He'll tell a story in front, and then he'll shed tears and look at you as he's shedding tears, and you'll just be like melting on the inside. I can't imagine what that must be like for a female.
Hyper-masculine, single male men listen intently.
That's right. Shed some tears in front of your missus.
Listen and learn.
And also be really good looking and have nice brown skin.
and move well.
And be an ex-professional rugby league player.
But yeah, he's a dude. And Casey, his wife, she's a legend, and we get along real well. And so we've run this thing for 3 years in a row.
She's pretty hot too. They're a hot couple.
They're a hot couple.
Hot couple.
Hot couple. They've got 2 really good looking kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
take my jumper off.
Yeah. This coffee's hot.
Get them pups training here at Jungle Brothers.
But so the first week was the retreat that we run, which is it's a collaboration between me and them. I really just bring Jungle Brothers to that event. So I just do bodyweight strength training, a bit of fun movement games, a bit of mobility work, and I try to use whatever's available in the environment we're in. So the last couple of years has been in Bali, where we had substantially more equipment. We had a gym, like an outdoor gym. We had a fully equipped indoor gym to use. This time we didn't really have any of that. So I took a couple of pairs of rings. We had a really nice beach to train at. And so I just put together some cool sessions, kind of workshops based on that. We had a couple of members from our gym and then a few people from outside. And it was awesome. It was really cool.
It looked like there's some new faces there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was lovely.
I didn't realize that they went for so long. Like, did you say 5 or 6 nights?
6 nights.
6 nights. Wow, that's
Talk
cool.
us through the days. Like you got Monday introduction.
Yeah, turn up, sort of check in on the
No,
afternoon. We
yeah.
do an intro that first night. Sorry, I'm eating a banana. The introduction, we play some movement games. Like I get people connecting, do a little bit of work. and then we have meals together. So there's like a breakfast time. So everyone turns up to breakfast around the same time. We have dinner together. Usually lunch is kind of choose your own adventure. But most of the days start with a sunrise session, which is usually yoga. But this year we did 3 morning yogas and then 2 morning sessions with me. So we get out just before sunrise, go train somewhere an hour to an hour and a half, come back, have breakfast. When we did my sessions, they were at the beach. So we go jump in the water, have a swim, bit of a body bash, and then go to like a nearby cafe, drink some coffee, and then go back and have breakfast. And then it's like free time, usually for, depending on the day, but you might have free time for sort of an hour. And then we'll have the first workshop. And the workshop might be 2 to 3 hours. It could be on Wim Hof breathing. It could be on intention setting. It could be on some other form of breath practice, but it will be more of a theoretical kind of thing.
What do you think about the Wim Hof thing? What's your views on that? Personal.
I like it as a sporadic experience, but I don't like it. I wouldn't like it as a regular
Wouldn't
thing.
use it every day.
Nah, it feels too stressful for me.
You've done a bit, Paul, haven't you?
Have not. No,
I could see you doing like 10 minutes in an ice bath.
Yeah. in an extremely hot
Both
country.
of these boys have avoided any
You know what?
experiences at our gym that involved an ice bath.
A couple of members came back
Coconut
and brought
light.
some false information from you to me.
What'd they say?
They said that you said I wouldn't take an ice bath. And
I
I
think they're
was
right.
public about it, but I
fucking called you out, bro.
No, but what I
to them.
said was I wouldn't take cold showers every morning. I wouldn't do that. I'd do an ice bath
Well, why haven't you turned up to
Yeah,
either
I
of the
don't
ice
know
bath
if you would do an
experiences?
ice
because I
bath,
was
bro.
busy.
Oh, we're all busy.
I'd definitely do an ice bath.
I was busy lying down in the sun.
Every time I intend to sit in cold water, I've never done the ice thing. I always say, right, I'm going to do like 5 minutes. And I get to about 30 seconds and I'm sitting there, why the fuck am I doing this? It's ridiculous. I just got to get out. Yeah, no, I'm not very good at it at all.
Are we going to have another one here? We should have another one here, and I can prove you all wrong.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Well, the
With no
the
body
gauntlet
fat.
was laid down. It was like Tua and Paul got to get in an ice bath. I
Oh,
think it was
yeah.
Aisha and Jem were like, it's got to
Yeah,
happen.
that's who they came at. They came at me. I was like,
don't
I'm
think
down
it
for
lasts
that. It's
very
just
long.
the cold showers in the morning.
Well, you only
You
stay
can
in for
keep
like,
it.
I think 3 minutes is the kind of standard as a first experience in the Wim Hof thing. So it's like you hit 3 minutes or 2 minutes, then you get out.
What's your record?
Oh, I've never tried for that, but I guess
Record.
I don't know. The
yeah,
probably longest
challenge
I've been in there is like 45 minutes, 55.
Can you share
My
with
balls.
us?
I think the longest I've been in there is, I think we do like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing,
You get
right?
bored?
Yeah, I like the ice bath. I do enjoy it. It is mildly stressful. Like you can't help but feel that anxiety. Like you're watching everyone else do it, and then you're like, oh, it's my turn. And then you jump in and you stand up in there first, and you're like, oh fuck, this is really cold. And you do I feel like a mild, oh, what if I fuck up? Like what if I can't handle it? Which is interesting because it kind of, you have to face that, I guess, a little bit. But it's funny because you do the whole thing and you do 3 minutes or whatever, and then you go and watch like UFC Embedded, and you see these MMA fighters who are like doing their recovery, and they're jumping in a fucking ice bath for like 20 minutes after training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not necessarily like handling it with as much poise, like they're they're carrying on, screaming, whatever, but it's like 20 minutes in an ice bath.
It's a long time.
So, when I think about it like that, I'm like, you'll make it. You can do it, right? It is somewhat confronting at first, but then I think it becomes.
Can you share with us a few, or maybe just one, if any, breakthroughs that might have happened or cool moments that happened?
Intention.
Intention.
Yeah.
What?
He mentioned intention, an intention session.
Oh,
Yeah, intention setting.
okay.
Setting.
Well,
That could be a breakthrough.
So the intent, yeah, that kind of is for a lot of people. So the intention setting thing it's I want to try not to destroy this, but I'm also probably not the best person to describe it. But essentially it is, in a sense, setting like a mantra for yourself. And the way you would arrive at what those words or that sentence is you would take some time, like in this workshop setting, to talk about things write down things in your life that maybe problems that you encounter or things that you struggle with or things that you wish you could do better with, and also talking about what you wish those things were like. So, you need a space and you need someone to kind of facilitate it so you can like sit there and sort of be creative and look at yourself and go, okay, well, like I'm a little bit like this and sometimes I don't really do that. And you answer all these questions and then it's pretty simple. You then go through all of your writing and you look for keywords that pop up a lot. So I'll tell you mine. Like I won't tell you my intention because it's secret to me.
You're not allowed to share it?
No, you can share it.
Do you share it on the day?
But the thing is, here's the thing, is because it's words, what your words might mean something to somebody else, and it just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you almost don't want to share it because someone will be like, oh, well, that's stupid. And then you're like, oh, well, thanks. You just devalued my fucking life mantra. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's personal.
We'll keep that
So
one
what
off
is
there.
it?
But yeah, tell me the fucking mantra. Yeah. But so the idea is you identify those things, and then you would set a thing, and it would be like, I am whatever, I am calm in the storm, or I am fucking full of love, or could be I am something. It could just be do this and do that, but it's really whatever works for you. And the idea is that when you write all these different options, and when you come to it, it'll kind of resonate with you, and you'll be like, yeah, that kind of hits the nail on the head of what I've been trying to distill all of this text down into. And then you're like, cool, that's my intention. And so you can have like a primary intention, which would be like really big and overarching. And then you could have a secondary intention, which might be something that's more behavioral based. But the breakthroughs for that, which definitely happened, are when you get people to look at themselves. So they look in the mirror.
I do that a lot.
You're good with this stuff. I mean
like in the mirror.
Look, fix your... He just popped a most muscular pose. No, but you do a bit of this, right? Like you like a bit of mantra, affirmations.
It's good.
Yeah, it's really the same kind of thing.
Keeps me on the straight and narrow. I'm a drifter,
right?
So
I wouldn't have guessed it.
Yeah, so I need something to kind of
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew. But so you would use yours in what way? Like you would repeat it to yourself daily?
Yeah, a bit of a reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be a little thing in my wallet, so it's just there. And my diary and
Is it the empty hole in
my
the wallet?
phone.
Make more money.
It's the only thing that's
It's where
in
the
my
credit
wallet.
card of mine that he borrowed and lost used to live.
But I found it 3 months
Found it
later
after I
gave it back to
cancelled
him.
it.
Yeah, there's not much
Sorry.
else in my wallet besides my driver's license. But yeah, similar stuff.
And so you come,
great.
and what do? You review it daily?
Yeah, well, that's the idea, but it doesn't work out like that for me. But even not reviewing it daily or running it through the way that I was taught, even just using that stuff intermittently is such a great help for me.
Yeah. I mean,
This stuff sounds good. I'd like to. Maybe you could run us through it.
I could take you guys through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and I've done it. I've done it for the last 3 years because I do it at every retreat. I sit in on their workshops and just do it, and every time it's rewarding for me.
Do you find what comes of it after 12 months is similar or very different?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I guess it's kind of the same. Like it's always pretty consistent. But you know what it's like with anything that's like self-development-y or business development or any of those things. Yeah, you're evolving, and also you're picking up different things each time. So you hear the same lesson, and you're like, "Oh, that's right. I wasn't doing that. I can add that in." And then so I do think that reviewing that stuff in the same way that it's like when you're teaching someone how to do a push-up. When they're hearing it for the 10th time, there's still value that 10th time because there's things that
Totally.
didn't resonate with them the first 9 times.
You're not in a vacuum, and things have happened in the last year, and you've become wiser in certain areas, and for sure you hear it differently, don't you?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I'm going to Tony Robbins in September, and then I need 5 days off?
Bullshit.
Yeah,
5 days.
That's so cool.
something like
Bullshit.
that. Yeah,
Bro,
Do that in a day.
Tony Robbins called in this morning and made the quote for the JB newsletter.
They're not taking
Say
Real
what?
talk.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, that's my man.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I'm going with my sister, with Betty.
Oh, yes.
You're going to
Yeah.
walk on fire.
I actually don't know. She sent me an email yesterday.
On cold.
with
Yeah,
the-
you have to.
How dare
the
he?
information?
How dare Tony make a Fijian walk
That's
on fire?
fucking racist.
That's their fucking cultural thing.
I'm going to do a handstand in 60 seconds on that shit.
What's the event? Is it Unleash the
man.
Power Within or
I
something?
think it is, and I feel bad that I haven't. I need to open the email and get on board with it because it's so far out. She invited me like 2 months ago or something like that. So it's in my inbox, and it's like an information thing on it.
Sick.
And it's in September. I'm a little nervous.
The hot
I think I
coals
need to.
thing looks painful.
Well,
Just like an
yeah,
ice bath, but
yeah,
Yeah, but hot.
yeah, that's right. I mean, I should be in my element there.
yeah, bros.
No, yeah. So I don't know too much about it yet. I think the more I find out, the more I'll be at ease. But right now, I know what I've seen from the doco on Netflix.
Yes, I'm
and I
not your
know
guru.
that kind of
Gotta do a
hysteria.
bit jumping around and clapping and
Yeah, a lot of that.
Dude, the
A lot
fucking
of
videos
tears.
people post, like you see people who are like relatively like chilled,
Sure,
and then
yeah.
they go to those events and they're like,
Oh my
Instagram,
God.
oh my god,
That's
and they
right.
show you them dancing
Correct.
and everyone, and you're like,
Yeah.
stop it, like,
yeah, I know.
it's kind of like telling the mantra. It's like I can't understand what you're feeling right now.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So far out. Stay tuned.
Oh, I'm excited for you, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
could be our next podcast.
Haley's done it.
Ask Tony if he wants to jump on.
Yeah, I will.
He'd be up for it.
If we got space on our schedule.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
clear some appointments.
How much do you reckon that guy gets paid to speak?
Fuck,
Oh my gosh.
sickening.
Tons.
Well, how much is the 5-day course?
I don't know. I think it's like $2,000 or something like that.
How many people are there?
I have no idea.
Billion.
Thousands usually.
Is
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
Is it COVID-19 proof? This arena?
Well, look,
Mate, I don't know if that's
I
going
don't
to
know
be
if
running.
anything is.
Might be a Skype session.
only the strong will turn up, or the weak will have perished.
Oh, bro,
Wow,
too early.
real talk.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, who knows what'll be happening in September? But yeah, that's sick, dude. I'd kind of
Tony might not
always
even be
wanted to
with
go.
us.
I dare you say that about Tony.
Well, you never know.
Have you seen the doco? I'm Not Your Guru.
I haven't.
It's cool, man.
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's well worth a watch.
I have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he works
The guy's made an
ridiculously
impact.
hard.
You know, if you like him or not, like
Oh yeah, totally.
made an impact.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's incredible is that like you remember his infomercials and shit to buy his like cassette sets
Yeah, I
in the
remember-
90s.
Yeah, and I'd be like, no, why
He's
would
been
anyone buy
doing
that?
this shit for like 40 years, man. It's incredible. And yeah, he's worked with Princess Di. He's worked with fucking
He was
probably
in Conor McGregor's
Michael
corner,
Jordan,
wasn't
Conor
he?
McGregor.
Fuck it.
Yep.
Now that's good marketing. That one.
Yep.
He looks like. I mean, I know from what I've seen, that type of output he's used to doing, and he has that type of personality. You know, you get those friends who always seem to have energy all the time, and you're like, how the hell? And when does that guy sleep and all that? He's definitely one of those guys with that big energy.
Yeah.
But to be outputting that much for so many decades, and he obviously has.
Draining.
Because he makes such a big impact and he realizes his power, he has several PAs and everything's set up so that he just has to put, he does
all his
the work.
energy into
There's
that.
people booking his staff, people who drive him, and that's what happens when you want to extend yourself further beyond, you get a team of people to help. But like,
I feel like
over a
that on
long
Tuesday
time?
nights. My classes. Just so if you're listening, my classes are
Please.
actually the busiest class in the gym
Please.
for quite some time now.
Tony Robbins Tuesdays.
the numbers started going up when
Ah,
Nikki
sorry.
started. I'm pretty sure. When you started, it enabled you to remember the program. Shots fired. Pew, pew.
So
Nice, Nicky.
intention. That's day one. That's
What-
a lot done in day one.
Well, no, that's not day one, but that's an example of what kind of workshop might go on in the mid-morning.
Yeah.
And then you would have some time again, and then you'd go then we go have lunch. And when it's a bigger group, or like at the ones in Bali, lunch was a part of it. So you all go to a restaurant and have lunch, whatever, it's included. But
Do you get on the piss at any stage?
yeah, some people do. I'll have a beer here and there, but usually that's kind of all I
Not
feel
one
like.
one party night.
On the last night, we'll go out and have some drinks. But again, I'm like,
By that time,
I'll have a
you're
couple.
Pretty decompressed.
Yeah, and I'm like 2 or 3 drinks max these days, anyways.
Yeah.
But some people will give it a nudge. I think Asian Gem gave it a nudge. Ended up on the
Yeah.
beach, hanging out with some crew, maybe watching the sun come up or some shit.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
good.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice.
There's no it's not a super health based thing or whatever. It's like go do what you want. The idea is that it's a holiday for the people who come, but then they also get like a good mix of training and mind work done over the week as well.
Personal development.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so we do that, and then after lunch, you might do a 2 or 3 hour session with me. Could be a strength thing, could be a handstand thing. Kind of, I gauge it on the energy and the vibe, and then it's like, actually, we do something that's cool. We do. Casey runs these yoga nidra sessions, which is essentially a form of yoga. You lie down. So you lie down, you put pillows all around you, you get super comfortable, and then the instructor reads to you. It's almost like a set of instructions, and it's a guided meditation. And it goes. You feel like it's like 15 minutes or something, and it's like an hour. And you kind of like I usually crash out really early, and then I come back, and it's like the best fucking sleep you've never had. It's mad.
Wow.
And you got someone talking to, and
She'd have a nice
she
voice.
She puts on like her nidra voice, and it's kind of like lulls you off. It's super restorative.
Does anyone like
snore? Fucking no. Yeah, I think I've done it a couple times.
Oh, I'd be asleep straight away.
Bro, and it's like you must have needed that, right? Like you go
lean up against
deep.
a tree in the daytime.
rolling all over.
Fucking
pillows.
mad. You got all the pillows, so you're so supported. And you got a little eye thing over you.
That sounds nice.
You know, RZA from Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
He's got guided meditation series on Spotify. I started listening to
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's good.
Is it?
Funny, yeah. I only just listened to like 10 minutes of the first one, like the intro. And I'll let you know more when I do it. It's on Spotify. It's free.
That's so good.
He's got such a good voice as well.
He does.
He's got that voice, so it's funny.
Oh, that'd be sick. But yeah, so that was the first week retreat thing, and then
No barbell work, I'm guessing.
Nah.
No.
We had I built a whole session that was around using another body. So we did a lot of lifts of another person, incorporated a bit of wrestling type stuff into it, fireman carries, double leg kind of pickups, high crotch pickups, dragging, pushing, all that kind of stuff. It was really good.
Cool.
Yeah, it was like a beach session that we did one morning.
Fun.
Yeah, it was good. It's something I'd like to do more in the gym, but it's I guess the nice part is you can experiment a little bit because people are open-minded. It's not like they're turning up to that session like I got to get a workout in today. They're kind of sort of like open to whatever.
Yeah.
So I can play with some different things.
I love that sort of stuff, and obviously in the gym here you get that contact in the BJJ program most, and then in the striking class there's a lot of kick catching and a little bit of clinch work and stuff like that. But that'd be cool. Like, would you ever see like the overreach portion of the bodyweight program, like working on how to lift someone or something like that?
Yeah.
That'd be cool, eh?
Sure. Yeah, even in S&M would be good. Anyway, we've had it there before.
Yeah, we have. It's
haven't
just
we?
been a while.
Bring it back.
It would be cool. It's a tricky one,
It's
right?
tricky because it's tricky to regress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be cool.
The high crutch.
High
Probably
crutch.
A bit intimidating for some people.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you grip the thigh and you
Yes.
don't right up
Don't-
towards the
Yeah,
jump.
that's
Chicken
right.
skin. Well, we're going to have a retreat in Rarotonga next year.
Well, this is the talk. Tell me more about it.
Well, my background, well, my mother's from the Cook Islands, and
Your
we've
blood.
all been there before together. We were there for my wedding together. Next year will be 10 years ago.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. So
God, that's alarming.
yeah, it'll be like a decade since we were there last.
Are we? Oh, that's next year.
Next year.
Wow.
So it'll be like I could potentially renew my vows on that day, and redo my wedding dance. That could be fun.
For the retreat.
Great. We can do the fucking setup
You can
for
do
his
the
wedding
fo-
dance again. I want lights over here. I want these lights to do this, but then I want these lights to do that.
Remember, if you remember...
No cables. I don't want to see any cables. Dig it all into the ground.
Remember being on the gas bottles, you and I?
Yeah.
We had one gas bottle each, and when the dance was going on, we had to like turn them up just on the little LPG.
Yeah, I haven't
tank.
had cues for you guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it looked fucking awesome.
It looks
did.
sick. It was
Made me
an
look like I could
incredible
dance.
wedding dance.
I was impressed, yeah.
Can't.
You can dance, bro.
Nah, not really. But it was good fun.
Yeah.
But this retreat's going to be really good because the island has, its training models in the island itself have grown over time. There's jiu-jitsu there now. There's a little baby jiu-jitsu academy.
Sick.
There's a CrossFit box. There's a kickboxing.
Is there?
Yeah, little studio, and all of them, they're all close to family, and they all know. My auntie trains at the CrossFit box. The guy who's running the kickboxing, I used to train with in Sydney, on and off here and there, 20 years ago.
Wow.
You've met the guy who started the jiu-jitsu. You met him the last time you were there.
Yeah, on my last day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came
You
from
guys
New Zealand.
Recognized each other's ears in the.
Yep.
Was love at first
Hey, bro.
sight.
God, funny you mentioned. I was up at the lights the other day about to cross over to get a coffee, and this kind of guy, I say like a little guy, like sort of quite short, walked off a construction site, and he walked over and he was kind of looking me up and down, and then he walked behind me and I felt him kind of looking at me up and down. Then he came and stood next to me and he like looked me up and down. And he was like, "What do you coach, bro? Jiu-jitsu?" I was fucking stoked. I was like, "Yeah, bro, come train." We had some mutual friends.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Recognition, street cred.
Right. But that's cool, yeah. So that guy's got an academy running now.
Yeah. There we got there's a free diving outfit there.
And T and I taught a class at the CrossFit gym when we were there.
Yeah.
Was it the wedding or was it a different trip?
No, it was the wedding.
It was the wedding.
The week after.
We taught like a session there. It was mad.
Yeah, it was great. So we'll be exploring everything that we do within our own gym, but on a tropical island. The fight, the lift, the move, a little bit of exposure to some new coaches, and then sharing a bit of knowledge with them as well. We've got the beaches and the lagoons for our meditation and
the mountain
stretch therapy, and
So cool.
we've got a cross island walk, all mountain walks. That's going to be and it's also close proximity all over the island. It takes like 30 minutes to drive around the island, so even if you want, you can get a little bit of space away from each other.
Yeah.
But everything's so close at hand that you could say, all right,
So easy.
everyone's going to meet at this bar tonight, and everyone's going to turn up for karaoke, or
Yes.
we do the disco bus that drives around the island. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, there's a disco bus?
So the new disco bus, it's like a hut on the back of a truck.
That'd be good to go on, eh, Joe?
It's a hut.
Maybe we could have some drinks.
Oh, did you guys do the disco bus?
Yeah, I was fucking hammered.
Oh,
Paul
mate.
and I were hammered that
That
night.
thing gets you
A long time ago.
pretty trash. It's like they've got an open hut and just stuck it on the back of a truck, and then there's just a massive sound system on it with
Yeah, it's like the
disco
music
lights.
plays out, not even in.
The disco lights are going, but so we got heaps of stuff we can do over there, deep sea fishing, all of that. But
Dude.
it's going to be great.
So cool. And then obviously like incredible food, right? Like amazing fruits, amazing
Yep.
seafood,
Yeah,
just fucking goodness.
and also
The food over there
a bunch
is
of
exceptional.
permaculture farms that we're going to go and do some visiting and touring, and maybe do a little bit of taro digging and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
that's
to Get our
cool.
hands dirty.
That'd
Yeah.
be super cool.
That's a strength session right there.
Oh
if
man,
you've ever
this
done
is
one.
hard. And I think we should also do a little like a Cook Island dance workshop.
Wow.
That's fucking hard work.
This is a 3-week retreat, by the way.
Start allocating 10% of your weekly income towards it.
yeah. So lots of good activity. It's good. It'll be a fun trip.
When are we
Would you-
thinking of doing it? Second half of the year?
It was November, I think, wasn't it? September.
September.
Yeah, we wanted. That's right. I wanted to bring it as early as possible, but still get the best weather
Yeah, it was September.
and not have all the tourists. September.
Yeah, so keep an ear out for that
Keep an
one.
ear out. Yeah, we've got to put some details down and then start selling tickets because it'll fill up quick and it'll
Yeah.
be fucking mad.
I think it'll be, our gym especially, there'll be a bunch of people from here that want to go.
I feel like we need to book 2 straight up.
Oh, yeah, so we can have, you can't come to this one, come to the next one.
Plus, that'll just keep us going back there. I want to
yeah.
go.
It's a good point.
So
Yeah,
much
anyway.
fun.
Yeah, well, I'm fucking psyched for that. And so, obviously, like I do this one with Josh and Casey, but I haven't spoke to them yet. But probably next year, if we do, once we push over the Royal one, I won't do another one. We'll just focus on that. It'd be super, super sick.
Maybe they come and join us one day. That'd be nice.
Oh, yeah. They'd love
What
it.
would that be?
Yeah, that'd be dope. Possibilities are endless.
So you're recovering from your knee injury.
Yes.
Looks like you're getting around on that well now. So you're doing some plyometric work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that on the sore knee or on the sore leg?
Yep, on the sore leg.
Nice.
So, so I started before I went to Sri Lanka. It was the 10th week, and so my physio gave me a whole bunch of different jumping drills, box jumps and bounds and single leg hops and all sorts of multi-directional things, with the idea that when I came back from Sri Lanka, I would be able to start running. So I was doing those drills a whole bunch while I was away. And then I saw him this morning, Nick, shout out ActiveRx Physio in Maroubra. And then I did some running today, some testing, and it felt good. So now I've got a running program.
Background on that is 3 or 4 months ago, 4 months ago maybe.
Yeah,
Did an ACL?
13 weeks ago. It was probably, it would have been about 4.5 months.
Yep.
I ruptured my ACL training jiu-jitsu. And then 13 weeks ago, I had a surgery where they reconstructed the ACL. So when they reconstruct it, they can either build it from your patella tendon, which is at the front of the knee, or they can rebuild it from your hamstring tendon. So if you put your hand down on the inside of your thigh, right up towards the back of your knee, and you feel those ropey bits on the inside edge, they're your hamstring tendons. So they take like a section or a segment of those, and then they essentially screw that into either end, like one into your shin, one into your thigh, and that becomes your ACL. So you have a new tendon that has to graft to the bone on both the shin and the thigh, and then you also have the hamstring that has to heal because they've chopped part of it out.
How's the hamstring side going?
Pretty good, actually.
Yep.
I'm quite surprised by that.
You always had excess hammy there, didn't you?
I did have a lot of hammy, and the surgeon was particularly impressed with the size of the hamstring.
Bountiful.
He said, what do you say? Oh, he's got an Irish accent. I fucking messed it. He said, oh, you got some monster hamstrings there. Monsters. And I was like, nice, brother. That's
Did you
what we
wake
like
up
to
with
hear.
a sore bum?
Yeah. Nurse.
Bum.
What the hell? Am I your child?
Yeah,
I got molested by a doctor once.
Bullshit.
Yeah, totally molested.
What happened?
It was I was doing.
Hang on.
I went to the doctor when I was 21, and this is before I would have been 19 actually, before I knew that you don't need to go to a doctor for any kind of physio work. I had a sore back, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got like a sore back. It's been giving me problems. And he goes, all right, lay down on the table. He was about 4 foot, big hump on his back.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was old. Would have been like late 60s. And he was like, okay, just lie down here. No gloves on. Starts feeling my back, and he's like, is there pain here? And I was like, no. And I said, it's a little bit lower. And his hand went straight down my pants, and his finger went into the crack of my butt. And he grabbed my butt cheek, and he's like, is the pain here? And I was like, looked at him, and I'm like, oh my God, I could like snap this guy's neck with one hand. And he's got his finger down my crack. And I was like, no. But it was really strange because I didn't like get angry or anything. I was just shocked that this guy had his finger down my pants. And then I was like, no, I think it's feeling all right now. And then I just kind of walked out, and I was like, oh my God, I just got molested by an old guy. I reckon he would have been like sniffing his finger or something.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
It was nasty.
Never wash that
That's
hand
nasty.
again.
It was nasty, bro.
Dude,
it's a
you need to speak
19-year-old
up about
plump
that
bum
now.
that I would have had back then too. Filthy animal.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that gross?
I mean, but fuck. I mean, it must happen all the time, right?
Right, for sure. Well, mate, you would have been doing it on a regular basis.
I got a
That's
little bit
very courageous.
I got a little bit touched up when I
here we
was
go.
about 11. When I was about 11 by a doctor, and
that's
the
creepy.
weirdest shit. It was in front of my mum,
Oh, that's creepy.
and she was like, "Yeah, it was really fucking weird." I hurt my
trust them
thumb
doctors.
skiing. We were like at Threadbow, and I busted my thumb, and the nail filled up with blood. And so when your nail fills up, like it hurts, and they often drain it or put a little hole in the nail, and it relieves the pressure. So she's like, "Oh, we'll go to the little medical clinic there." Well, I remember going to the clinic, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, give me a look, and we can fix that." And as he was fixing it, like he kind of like straddled my legs, like my leg with his legs, and I was like, all I remember is that I found it mildly off-putting, and I remember talking to my mum afterwards, and she's like, "Yeah, that's fucked up. That was
A bit weird.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but it was
creepy.
just at that level
Like you were
where
sitting on your lap?
where at the time, no, I think I was lying on the bed, and he kind of almost like when you're making a pull shot and you put one leg up on the table
For your thumb?
kind of for my thumb, bro.
You need to
It was
recreate.
it was really fucking weird. Like I'm like telling him, I'm like, how did that happen? And my
It's
mum's
just
like
trying to
super
figure
responsible.
That's
Yeah,
horrible.
but same kind of shit,
Oh, that's
right?
creepy.
Like a pull shot.
Like a pull shot.
Trying to sink a ball in the corner
Ball
pocket. Can I say? Well, I got no. I didn't. I didn't.
Trust Paulie not to tell his story. But yeah, so where was we?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't actually.
That's
know.
right. Yeah, the monster hamstrings.
I've known you guys forever,
Strong,
but now
strong hamstrings. But so then you're recovering from the reconstruction of the ACL, and to put the ACL into the bones, they have to drill holes in each of the bones, like through it. And so then you also got to recover from the hamstring thing. Yeah, interestingly, my hamstrings come good pretty quick. Like I'm deadlifting, Romanian deadlifts, all that like loaded stuff again now. And I just this week got back to drilling in jiu-jitsu, which I'm taking very cautiously, being very selective about who I do it with and what I do. But, you know, 13 weeks out, I'm feeling pretty good about where it's at.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Who did you drill here or did you go to?
I did both. Yeah, so I've been coming to the Monday night class here with Paulie.
Yeah.
Coach Paul, who's the latest addition to our JITS program. For those that don't know, he's a savage, old training partner of mine, and we're lucky enough to have him for the next few months, taking our Monday night classes, maybe longer than that, let's see. And then I went to Alliance with my coach on a Wednesday night. So I'll probably just try and keep those 2 nights a week for now, because I do notice that after my knee is sore. And it's kind of at that point, like I'll do the running and it's probably going to be sore and a bit swollen after I run, and over time it'll adapt.
But that's not necessarily a bad sign though, is it?
No.
The swelling.
No, it's a necessary sort of part of the adaptation.
it's just about getting the quantity right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I swell every time I try and get a fucking move.
I know. At least up 4 hat sizes.
The cranius.
Tell us about your goals,
Bro,
Mate,
you were ripping on the straps
goals.
yesterday.
Yeah, I got a
He's
triple.
kicked like a bunch of goals off.
triple roll up. Got my triple roll up.
Dude,
Yeah.
I saw 4
But
roll-ups.
it was a bit.
Can you
it-
just
it's
go? I
not-
counted 4.
It's not cross off the goals board worthy yet.
Well, do you have 5 on the board? Or you got 3.
triple.
Didn't you do 4?
No, the first roll is with the bent arm to position yourself.
But that's the backwards roll, right?
yeah.
Didn't you then do 4 forward rolls?
No, it was 3.
I'm sure, bro.
I didn't see.
Do
but
a
I think
recount.
I'll recount it, but yeah, I think I cap out on the roof on 4, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it wasn't clean enough for the goals board, but it's there. So now it's just refining. And I got my handstand push up,
Did you?
but I couldn't.
That
I got
upsets
it,
me.
and then I got it again, and then I tried again this week, and I didn't get it. So it's not there yet.
So
but it's,
fringy.
It's in reaching, like
It's close.
yeah,
On a good day.
on a good day. Yeah.
They're so fucking touch and go, those things.
I know. I'd
always
never
found.
tried one in my life till last week.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what all the fuss
Except
is
for
about.
like Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Yeah, I've been trying to chip away at that goal for, probably a year up to when I got one in Fiji and then at Paul's wedding, and then I didn't try it for 2 weeks, and then I never got it again for 2 years. I had to keep trying to get it back again, and then I finally got it back. So it's a fucking long time to be working on something very minor.
It is. That's why I stopped working on
Has
it.
absolutely no. There's no translation to anything really.
Well, it's going to make
not
your
gonna-
overhead press better, obviously.
If I press to
Tricep
my
exercises.
forehead,
Yeah.
push back up again. It's not going to save you from the fucking zombie apocalypse, is
It
it?
might.
How's it going to get me to get that toilet paper quicker into this fucking shopping basket?
Did you see 80s Nerdgasm on Instagram today with their latest post? Do you guys follow 80s Nerdgasm?
Do not. Sorry.
It is
Nah.
it is absolutely the best Instagram
Did I
account.
tell you how I had a third kid?
It's the best Instagram account I follow. It's a picture of Arnie, Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando holding the rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher is a what are we talking there? 4-3, a 12-pack of toilet rolls, and the caption is "Get to the shitter." Fuck,
That
it's
could be
great.
the podcast.
I'll post it up on JB Stories right now. So anyone that's listening, please watch. But yeah, bro, that's impressive. The stuff you were doing on the rings, I was like, on the straps, I was like, bro, it's fucking cool. You've come a long way with it.
Yeah, I think when you find something that you just enjoy, and so there's that play element, it just feels so much easier to do it.
Yeah, you run downstairs whenever you've got 20 minutes before a
just
class
do a
or
little
something. You've been playing with it.
Yeah.
Does it not require a huge amount of warm up for you? Like, is it pretty?
No, I think. Well, I run the bodyweight program for myself, the same one we use for the gym, and that I just run what we program for everyone else, and that gives me everything I feel like I need to be able to jump on the straps and feel safe enough to do more of the dynamic stuff that requires a bit more intensity and range and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to play with velocity. Like I want to
Using some speed.
Yeah, and getting the dislocates where you spin upside down.
Right.
Yeah, so that'll be the next trick that I'm working on. It's like beginner's gymnastics. Which I'm like,
What would you say? Like, because obviously a lot of the movements look similar to what you see on the rings, but obviously like the position where the strap is attached to you is changing. And what would you say the main difference or differences are compared to training on the rings? Or is it just
more
so
versatile?
different? Right.
Because you can bring so the straps are the aerial straps. It's an acrobatic tool, and they're just pieces of material, 2 straps of material, and they've got some kind of Kevlar inside and then cotton on the outside that allows you to wrap that strap around your limbs. So it means you can bring the anchor point closer to your body and access positions that you just could never access on the rings unless you're like an absolute animal, unless you've been doing gymnastics since you were 5 years old and you're 5'5" and chose the right parents and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You can access a lot more. Plus you have the vertical plane that you can work up and down, and then also they spin.
Which is accessed via the rolling up of the rings onto your arms, or
you can roll. You can
rolling up the straps.
Yeah, you can roll up the straps, and you can also spin on them, and you can get like a lot of centrifusion. I think that's called.
Yep.
And the interesting thing about that is, once you start spinning, your body gets lighter.
Huh.
Which is really interesting, which means you can you can move into these positions like a one arm fucking back lever. And hold it if you have the ability to balance or the skill to balance and
spin.
Yeah, and spin at the same time.
Wow.
Which I thought, that's great.
That's cool.
I'm just going to try that. And then I tried spinning and it was like...
Hang on.
You get a bit woozy, don't you?
Yeah, it was... and also when your body shifts or moves a couple of mils, you just end up getting thrown out to all kinds of shapes. And that's when you're probably more likely to get injured. So I'm tentative with the
shoulder dislocations and stuff. Is that a little bit of what's at risk there?
Well, the progressions are you start in like an upside down pike, and then you kick your legs back behind you, and then you kind of dive forward.
And the look of that.
And then your body will spin around the rings or the straps, whatever tool you're using. And where you would go wrong is if you don't externally rotate your shoulders, bring your arms out. If you stay in like an internal rotation,
and fall down,
you'll drop into a skin the cat, but you'll do it with velocity, and it'll probably tear your arms off like a...
Your torso will drop
ring.
To the floor. Your arms will still be up on the straps.
So yeah, if you don't cue that, then you're going to hurt yourself. Yeah, so there's lots of practice just dropping onto the mat at the moment. I won't do that until it feels like it's second nature.
Right.
So I want to keep my arms on my torso.
Fuck yeah! It looks like there's a lot of just pressure on the arms, the shoulders.
Yeah. I felt like my shoulder joints are now probably the strongest they've ever felt because of them. So yeah, it's been great, man. I really like having something new in the gym to work on. There's always going to be something like that, though, isn't there? Keep you interested and occupied.
Well, if you actively go out and find it, yeah. But and I mean, here we have a lot of that because we've got a big variety of training. But I think for a lot of people, there's probably a great lack of variety in their training.
Yeah.
But it's because like if you're like in some other kind of world, like if you're in the CrossFit world or something, it probably doesn't enter your mind that I could go like get some straps and like hang them in the gym and start fucking around and ask my circus friends. So I think it's nice that we have a bit of a place here that feels very open to whatever.
Yeah, and a training model that can prep your body to look at a tool like that and say, oh, you know what, I could have a crack at that and maybe do some of the beginner stuff and get my foot through the door.
Yeah.
Whereas with a lot of, you could be bodybuilding for years and you'd look at a tool like that and you'd just be like, no, my body's not going to handle that. It's going to hurt too much.
Yes, right.
So yeah, it's good. It's good to know that I'm in my 40s and I can still look at a tool like that and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to play with that and still make progress. Not just hang around at the...
Not just maintain.
Yes.
And just see the last years out.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like decrepancy and trying to cradle that on the way down. No, I don't want to be like that, bro. I'm fucking...
You want to be Yoel Romero, just getting stronger.
That's what I was thinking. This guy's body is like what they describe Yoel's like. You know, everyone said, like, was it Luke Rockhold's like, yeah, when you hit him, it hurts you. It's like he's made of steel or concrete.
I can't believe how well he went. I mean, a lot of people didn't like the fight, but man, he caught Izzy out with 3 overhands. That's a hard shot.
Round
to
1
land.
and 2, hey.
You got to be fast and very unpredictable to land a shot like that. But 3 times.
But don't you think it's because he faked the shot?
Yeah.
And Izzy was obviously probably concerned about the shot. So he wasn't thinking about the overhand, right? He went, he changed and then it was a perfectly placed
unbelievable
fucking strike.
Torso
drops.
Fucking
dangerous.
Oh.
Mate, he's a horrible guy to fight.
Scary dude.
Did you see the videos of him? This is the UFC that was on the weekend, Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero, for anyone that doesn't follow. Was a strange fight. Wasn't really the fight everyone wanted to see, but whatever, that's how it goes sometimes. But Adesanya leg kicked him a lot, right? And then at the end of the fight, he was like, he won't be walking tomorrow, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And then Yoel posted videos of him like running and like doing sprawl drills and shit the next day. Such a fucking beast.
Well, he's doing like a backflip and he drops in a front split.
Yeah.
For his dance.
And he's
off.
42.
42.
He's such a beast.
And he's had, I don't know how many fights that guy's had, but he's had a lot. You know, he would have had a lot.
Well,
he's
an Olympic wrestler before his whole fighting career,
his
right?
His body would have gone through the ringer.
Yeah.
And he's still in great shape.
Incredible.
Amazing. Yeah.
But everyone says when you hit him, it hurts you. He's just so hard. It's like he's made of something else.
Wow.
You can see it in him. He's got like a hardness to every part of him. Even his voice is hard.
I love his voice. He's so good.
I see you, boy.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah. And just the things he says, he's such an odd character, and he's obviously, staunchly religious, and he's just got some funny one-liners.
He's a soldier of God, isn't he?
Soldier of God. Yeah.
Well,
don't forget
Jesus. Be a drug dealer.
Hey?
Kind of choices in life. Would have been one or the other. Some kind of assassin, drug dealing assassin. You can see a character like that. So, Nees, how long till you can compete? And will you because you had your jiu-jitsu comp prep? You were actually going to go in a comp with Robert Whittaker.
Yeah.
You guys were in the same
category.
Same pool. It was you, Rob, and
another guy called Jack.
I call him Rob like I know the guy.
Yeah, I know.
Our Rob.
Robbo.
Yeah, Robbie, you've seen better days, mate. You'll get that title back. I would love to see him get that title back.
It would be fucking awesome.
But Rob Whittaker was the former middleweight champ of the UFC. Also fought Yoel Romero twice, for anyone that doesn't know. But and won. But so Rob was in my division, and there was another guy from Central Coast or something. So it was a real shame. That was the day I registered. It was a Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday night I went to train, and that was the night I hurt my knee. And I did consider, I think the comp was 2 weeks out, I considered still doing it. Yeah. Like because I felt pretty good after I tore the thing. But the advice was, don't be a fucking idiot. So I just floated the idea. I was like, what do you think theoretically because I thought if it just means that, you
can only go forward and backward and not sideways.
Yeah, I could just pull guard maybe, or I don't know.
Hop on one leg.
Pull guard, God. Against Rob Whittaker, you just get mauled.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
But yeah, so the recovery is 7 to 9 months. So from when I had the surgery, say 7 months would be like middle of the year, so end of June. The surgeon is happy for me to return to competition at that point. and all of the literature shows that you are cleared to do so. But there's numerous studies that have shown that and this is interesting, for every month you stay away from full-scale competition or full-scale like intensive use of the knee, from 7 to 12 months, for every month you delay your return to full-scale training, your risk of re-rupturing the same tendon or the same ligament decreases by 50%. So 7 months is risky, 8 months is slightly less risky, 9 months. My physio is like, obviously that means if you wait 12 months, you're in the best possible position for the best outcome for that knee long term. But he said, I'm not going to stop you if you want to go back to things at 7.
A little earlier.
So I was like, I don't really know how I feel about it. I probably wouldn't compete, but would I return to full sparring at jiu-jitsu, like rolling? Maybe. I guess it would just depend. I think I'll gauge it when I get there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the competition thing. I like to think that I'll compete again. But it's been such a distant thing for me for years now that I'm not really fussed either way. I'll just sort of play it by ear because I don't know how my confidence will be.
That's the funny thing I was about to mention, like with my ankle and stuff.
Ring rust.
Yeah. Well, that in particular, it's competition and stuff. So there's all those factors, but also just you're not sure what where your confidence is going to be. You putting pressure on it and wanting to push it and stuff. Like at the moment, you feel a lack of confidence. Say when Hattie's running around your legs or something, or something's going on, and you're like, will that shadow that's always there, like, will that fade away? And you can't really know until you get closer to, until it heals more and you spend those hours over days loading it, feeling it out, and it just kind of happens later. For me, I really thought I wouldn't get it back at some point, and over time, it's like now I forgot all about it until someone mentions the scar, and I'm really grateful that it's like that because all the shit that we do here would be really, it stopped me from doing loads of things that I enjoy if I had that lack of confidence. Because there was for a while there where, and sometimes I get these little murmurs when I see someone, like when my kids would jump off a wall and they'd land on the ground, and I literally my calf would just kind of like shake a little. I just feel it and be like, oh. Just like when someone gets kicked in the balls and you're like, oh, and your nuts just retract a little bit towards your guts. It's a bit like that, but in my Achilles. And I'd get that all the time and unexpected as well. Yeah, when I hear someone do like a bad box jump or they're jumping down off a box and it's like slap and you're like, oh. They would just kind of
like a sympathy kind of again. Contraction almost.
Yeah, but it's just almost like a little fear.
Yeah,
it's a little fear. Like I need to apply that. Yeah, I don't. It's weird, but it's pretty much gone. I haven't had that for ages.
How long's it been since you tore your Achilles?
Mate, I can't. I've got the worst memory. I believe it was 2 years ago. Yeah. Coming up on 2 years. Falco's in year 2.
It didn't tear off the bone though, did it? It was just hanging on by a thread, wasn't it?
It was a thread. Yeah,
which was a good thing because then they could stitch it back.
Well, it was. They cleaned that. They cut that anyway before they cut that before they do it. But the advantage of having that little string was that for the 4 to 5 days that it took me to get into surgery, the top half of my Achilles leaning in my calf wasn't rolled up like a shutter blind, and it was kind of in a lengthened state.
So it wasn't going to heal up into a ball up there.
Yeah, I think it just helped it.
That's gross to think about, like a recoiled Achilles tendon and calf sitting up behind your knee.
Yeah. So I was fortunate and grateful now that that's kind of faded away. But that thing you mentioned about the confidence, it's like you don't know until 3 months from now, 6 months from now.
Do you remember when you started to feel confident in yours? Or when you just stopped thinking about it?
It's hard because you just stop thinking about it, don't you?
It's true.
Can't put your finger on it. It would have been maybe less than a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was always thinking about it. I went to work on the bag before I went to jiu-jitsu because I thought it's really hard to control your weight in jiu-jitsu, even when you're playing off the ground and, your limbs are where you can't see them, if you know what I mean. like my leg could be behind me and my head's twisted.
Well, you lose a bit of proprioception. With
Totally
an injury
gone,
like that.
totally gone.
You don't know where your leg is.
Yeah, and I felt a real lack of confidence to do that, and so then working on the bag was good. And then, I started working on the pads from there, then eventually went back to jiu-jitsu, and it just faded slowly over time. So really hard to say when.
Something, I was speaking to one of the doctors that train here. We've got 5 doctors that train here now, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And with the whole corona thing, there's talk that elective surgery is just not going to exist for however long is necessary. But it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are training, that you don't necessarily want to get in a situation like you're in where you get this tear. And is that elective surgery, what you had? Would have been, wouldn't it? You're not going to die.
No, well...
I don't think I think that would... I don't know what it's called, but I don't think that would be elective.
It's your one would have been elective.
Yeah, mine would have been elective.
They would have just said to you...
You'll be right.
You cannot get this done until things start to cool down a bit.
Yeah, like with Corona and stuff.
Yeah, because
they need resources.
Yeah, so I suppose and I think that's what's going to happen. That's the first thing to go will be elective surgery.
Right. So like non-essential stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's something to keep in mind anyway.
It's a good point.
If you go and
I was told for mine, like if I was to not get the surgery, my Achilles would grow back. And a lot of people don't get it, and they've got a tear, and it grows back. To what quality? It's definitely lesser quality.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I don't know if that's true of if it's completely ruptured, but I believe that it can. Don't quote me on that. But I had the option of leaving it, hanging on by a thread, and it would somehow attach over time. And I had done even the smallest bit of research, and I quickly found that elective surgery, if you're athletic and young and planning on using it a lot, that you definitely want to get the surgery.
Well, you ticked 2 of those boxes.
I did. Flying colours.
The dig.
Duck weave. So when I went in, when I went in, I spoke to a few people, including Nick's partner, Active Aris, and I went in there and pretty much told them I just lent into my profession and the fact that I am athletic. I mean, I had to ham it up a little bit. I said, I'm a coach. I'm a competitor, athletic competitor, and this is detrimental
my life
to my life and my business. And I actually didn't have to sell it too much. And they said, okay, sure. In your case, because you're young,
ish.
Oh, so young. How many years younger than you? I'd get the surgery, and it wasn't elective in that sense. It was like their recommendation, that it would affect my lifestyle currently and my health if I didn't have the surgery. So,
and that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because like with the surgery, your recovery is in a sense longer. Like I elected to now go through this 7 to 12 month process where I've got to let the ACL like graft and all that happen and the swelling to go down and whatnot. Yeah. But if I just decided not to have it, I'd be at a higher risk of hurting something else in my knee because it would be less supported because it's missing a major ligament. But I could be back at full scale training already for a couple of months.
Yeah, sure.
So it is I think for people's outside perception, it's like, it's just interesting that you have to recover from the surgery almost harder than you have to recover from the injury itself sometimes.
Yeah, and that's why I think they shy away from the elderly. Like if you're old, they definitely won't do the surgery because
too much risk.
You got a 6-inch gash on the back of your heel. And it locks you up. Infection, and it's very difficult for them to see out a successful rehab over a long period of time. Lock their bloody knee up and lock their hip up.
Yeah,
but at least
unlocking.
Yeah,
dude, I had a guy, poor old fella, in the bed, in the room with me in the hospital, and I don't know how old he was. He wasn't necessarily. Could have been in his 70s or 80s, But poor old dude, he was having a fucking struggle of a time. I think he didn't hear very well. He had a hearing aid, and he was in there to get his knee. He wanted to get his knee fixed, but he laughing at Paul.
I was like, T was in the ward with you?
Oh, you fucking... Is that how your mind works?
He just started giggling to himself. Poor old fella. Pew pew. Oh, it's like dat, 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 dat.
That's how his mind. That's how he's thinking all day, isn't it? It's got a good filter.
But the guy was trying to get his knee fixed, but he was just struggling. He wasn't communicating with the nurses. And I remember one night the nurse came in. They said, "Oh, you're right." And he's like, "I need a drink of water." And they said, "Oh, we'll get you one." And he said, "I've needed a drink of water for 8 hours." And they're like, "Why didn't you press the buzzer?" And he's like, "What buzzer?" And it was like, "Oh, fuck, poor dude." Like, he's having a hard time. But the knee surgeon, who was not my one, but another one, came in to see him. And he came in and I heard the conversation, but he was looking at me and he said, "Mate," he said, "we need to do the surgery, but you're too swollen, it's too inflamed." He said, "I can't operate today." He said, "You can stay in hospital for another few days. Maybe the swelling will go down. We can get you to a point, but yeah, I can't operate on that." So poor guy just had to wait around and hope that maybe the inflammation would go down or maybe it wouldn't. I was like, fuck, that's when you've got an old body, things are starting to break down.
Harder to recover.
Yeah, harder to recover, harder to get into the surgery, and then really fucking hard to rebuild it after. Not a situation you want to be in.
And that's why you got to put the time and effort in now.
Right? Strong and robust body.
And then one day you just kind of die.
Yeah.
Well, fit and healthy.
I mean, that's I'll give like credit to my body in that situation or in that regard. When I tore the ACL, you almost, with the tests and stuff that we did at the physio, you almost wouldn't have known that it wasn't there anymore because everything else just like stepped up to support it. And I could still pretty much do everything. And that was when the surgeon looked at it and the physio, they're like, "Man, it's pretty good. Like, if you didn't want to have the surgery, I'd be okay with it, except if you do want to go back to competitive jiu-jitsu and or hard training, then I'd suggest it because you'll just hurt it again down the track." But I thought all of the stuff I've done over the years has allowed it to be at this point now.
Do people walk, because that one doesn't grow back yet, do people just walk around without an ACL? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were to move into that medial line, like knees falling in, you'd get some sort of
it's more the
contacts with.
Yeah, it's more the rotation. So that the thigh bone or the femur and the tibia will rotate. So it's usually when you're changing direction, right? So just imagine that your thigh stays where it is and then your shin rotates inwards. That's what the ACL sort of does. So apparently when it's not there, the meniscus, which is like the shock absorber that sits on the end of each bone, the meniscus will absorb the brunt of that movement, which then you wear away at your meniscus excessively. And so depending on what you're going to do, like if I wasn't training jiu-jitsu anymore and I was older and I wanted to just chill things out a bit, I could probably have gotten away with that. But I don't want to live that life yet. And I also already had pre-existing meniscus damage. So the surgeon was like, "Look, you're going to come back in here with fucking arthritis or a bucket handle tear of the meniscus in 18 months anyway. So let's just do the surgery now and I can fix both."
Yep.
So, there's a lot of, I was thinking about it the whole way through is you see people like there was another NRL player the other day that snapped his ACL, like the first game back or a training session out for the season. I saw there's been a spate of female AFL players tearing their ACLs. Like they're so common in ball sports and jiu-jitsu and judo and stuff, I'd imagine. And it's very easy to, same with your Achilles tear, Paul, it's very easy to like lump them all in as the same situation. So did you get surgery or did you not get surgery? But what I realized with mine is that it's actually very specific based on your individual conditions. So like my individual conditions were, I've got a strong background of training already and development around other parts of the leg. I have some small amount of the ACL left, but pretty much none. I had pre-existing meniscus damage. And the location that meniscus damage is in is significant. and I'm at an age, and I have interests that are, and I have a career that is. Like all those things, all those variables contribute towards the decision I'm going to get surgery or not. You know, so when you see sports players and stuff, it's not as simple as like, oh, you fucked your ACL, yeah, go get surgery. They kind of got to take all that into account.
And also the success of that surgery as well, like percentage.
Yes,
wise.
like of how well they do it.
Yeah, like if it is actually going to be a successful surgery or not.
Yeah.
Which is always there's always that element of unsuccessfulness potentially.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the surgeon would never tell you that, but you know it, don't you?
Yeah.
When you go in and they check it, they're like, "Oh, that was what he said to me last time we saw it." Grace, oh mate, that's a hell of an ACL there, mate. Oh, that's rock solid, mate.
Must be.
That's what I
As
say
he's
to my
feeling your
clients when they
buttocks.
walk in. Yeah. So does the ACL actually go all the way up to the butt crack?
Too good.
But shout out to Dr. Bro. That's my guy, surgeon Dr. Bro.
That's his last name?
Nickname Dr. Bro Dude. Well, that's privately. I don't call him that.
Okay.
That's his name, yeah.
Is he a bro doctor? Like he just doesn't actually have a PhD?
B-R-O-E.
Oh, okay.
Sick last name though. Hey?
Good.
T-Bone, you've never torn anything, snapped anything?
No. Tip of my nose got kind of broken, but it was just a cartilage, and then it just healed back up again.
Knees, shoulders.
Broke a nail.
Have you broken?
Yeah, I broke my
have you
fucking
broken a
balls
leg
every
or
other
anything
week.
before?
Hey, Joey. Fuck off. Kidding.
You haven't broken a bone or anything?
No. I've dislocated my toe, my big toe. It would have been better if it broke because it stretched tendons and ligament, and that takes fucking ages. But that's it. I've got a bit of arthritis. I don't know, something's clicking in my right pinky, and that's it. I've had problems with my injury with my spine. I've had injury with my neck, but that's all been either from just boxing or some kind of wrestling drill or something. That's always been
Like big tweaks that take some time.
Yeah, it's been like impact that where someone done it to me. But other than that, no, I've been really lucky. Yeah,
Fucking Yoel over here.
Yeah.
no, I've been lucky.
Okay.
But they come, and you get those little stints where you're injury free and you take advantage of them, and you're grateful for it. And then when it comes, you just kind of deal with it and focus on the other areas that you can work with.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's true. I mean, and that's the big thing about how we all manage injury, isn't it? That it's like, obviously it's disappointing, and there's all these things I could be disappointed about in terms of jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. But I'm like, fuck, man, I'm doing handstands again, and I'm basically back doing all the same shit in the gym, strength-wise. And I'm like, I had other time to work on other things like personal development or whatever. Like really, it's not like there's always stuff you can do in your life that you can take time to develop. And especially in the realm of physicality. So it's like, all right, if you get injured, then just work on another thing.
Yeah.
Take that as an opportunity.
Yeah, you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
That's the key. Cannot stop.
I think a real large part of that is how you how you identify yourself. So for me, I'm, like that guy calling me out on the street, like jiu-jitsu coach, bro. I'm like, that reinforces my identity, right? I'm like, oh yeah, sick. Like he saw my cauliflower ears and he recognizes that I'm a jiu-jitsu guy because I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. And then when that's taken away from me because of my surgery, that's potentially really damaging. And I have experienced that in truth, like to some degree, where I'm like, fuck, like, oh, it really sucks. Like I really want to be back doing the thing and developing, but I'm able to look past it. But I think for a lot of people, they invest all of their identity in that one thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm a fucking kickboxer. That's what I do. Or I'm a soccer player. And then when they can't do that thing, they're blind to the possibilities of doing something else.
Yeah. Fixed. And
tough.
then it becomes a why me situation.
Yeah.
And all the focus is on how hard done by.
How you're a victim of this life. And
yeah. And that goes into a really bad place. You don't want to go there.
I guess we try and do that a lot with members, right? When they get busted up, or we get plenty. We've had a couple of Achilles tears, people out playing soccer, things like that, and then can't train. But then we're always like, hey, let's find something else that you can do. Let's work on your upper body. Let's get you back in the mix.
Absolutely.
Just off topic, question for you guys. Do you know who used this microphone last? So I'm like gagging on it, and I'm thinking,
did you sanitize it?
Mate, I might have been Clint. I reckon he had a bit of a fever on the
He was
day.
coughing. He was coughing.
Definitely sweating.
Can we talk about COVID-19?
We can talk about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got a question. I don't know if you guys know anything on this topic, but I'd like to find out more. But I keep thinking about...
I know about most things.
I think about the idea that having a more robust immune system it's obviously there. It can help you ward away influenza or any other diseases, and how training can help boost that. I guess I'm wondering, and I'd love to hear from an expert if you have a simple explanation, like kind of on a biological level, how does that work? How does me being strong, feel free to say I don't know, but do you guys know, have an idea? Because I thought it'd be cool to get someone to.
Well, you fucking had Luke Tulloch here 2 weeks ago. Why don't you ask him?
It's because I didn't believe it at all. I was denying at that point.
Yeah,
and now I'm like Trump. I was like, it was a hunch back then, and now we're behind it. Unbelievably serious.
It's a really good question. Hey, I'll be straight up. I don't know the science. I know the bro science.
Yeah.
I know the bro science. I know the conceptually
bit of exposure to.
Well, yeah, the way I see it is that most of us are living in an unhealthy way. We have a lack of movement nutrition. Say you're working in the city, you're in an office with recycled air, air conditioned air. It's dry. It's not particularly clean. You're around a lot of people. You're sitting down a lot of the time. You're looking at a computer screen.
Eat shit, smoking ciggies.
Eat shit, right? Even if you're the healthy person that does that whole life, you're still sitting down all day. You're still fucking stuck on a bus or a train getting in there. It's still not an ideal situation. So if you just go from there and then you go home and you sit down there and have dinner and then you go to bed and that's your sort of routine, there's a lack of nourishment that's occurring on so many levels, and it's in my mind it's easy to draw a correlation between that and a weakened immune system, because you're just not expressing your body in the way that it's designed to be expressed. Circulation, like your endocrine system, like your hormones,
which needs a lot of the functions need movement in order to stay healthy.
Yeah, you need physical movement to get blood pumping through the limbs, particularly out from the legs, and to get which gets toxins and things like that moving through systems of filtration and whatnot.
Then you need
more oxygenation, but then you need the endocrine system moving, so you're pumping different hormones through the body, growth hormone, all of the hormones are moving, right? It's not just about testosterone or whatever. It's that system is being stimulated.
Yeah.
And so training is, for most people, coming to the gym and doing an hour or a couple of hours of work is their chance to express some of that humanness and get that shit moving and force a little bit of, put a little bit of stress on the body.
It's all about stimulus.
Yeah, which then allows them to go and recover. They sleep better. They're likely to eat better. I just see it as there's no one that's not, if you're not doing some kind of physical stuff every day, there's no way that you can be at pinnacle of health or optimal health.
Yeah, you want to be strong and healthy to deal with any kind of stress factor in life, really. You see it in the garden. Weak plants will get picked on by pests and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
right.
A nice, strong, healthy plant won't be covered in little bugs and shit like that.
What about the weak plants that drive Ferraris and have massive trust funds and shit? How do they go?
They're dodging the bugs.
They've found a way to hack the system.
Paid someone off.
They got a mask and a bottle of disinfectant and a hand sanitizer, so they're good.
Don't call out the hand. I'm doing a bit of hand sanitizing.
Yeah, we got it in the gym.
We got it in the gym. It's important.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot of there's a lot of bro in that, in terms of I don't actually fucking know on a physiological level.
Yeah.
But you got to choose your right parents as well first. That's the first thing. So you want to get
for your immune
For immune
system.
system, yeah. That's
Strength,
immune system.
have the good
that's one of
genes.
those things is gene related. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. Maybe we should get a doctor on.
Well, that's
Get
what
a
I.
doc-
That
we've got
was
5 of
that's
them
what
in
I'm
the gym.
saying.
Let's get one
Yeah,
in.
I'd like to, enlist that because just for my own understanding, because I
Then
know
they
that
can
that's
sit there
one
and
of the
say,
main.
well, actually, that's wrong.
That's bro science.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's wrong.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, fuck, cancel this episode. Get the fuck out of here. That doesn't suit our agenda whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think good airflow for in a gym scenario. You don't want to have that recycled air. No good. Yeah, you want air getting out. Contact is things airborne, so you don't want to be coughing and breathing. If you are sick, stay home, and then practice good hygiene. Wash your hands, 20 seconds minimum. So the state health department says, and sneeze into a hanky. And if you don't have a hanky, sneeze into your arm,
Into your elbow.
into your elbow.
Yeah.
And if you're sick, just stay home.
Yeah.
7 to 14 days or something like that, isn't it?
14 days, yeah, is the period
Incubation
of
phase,
incubation
something.
period. Yeah, and I mean, I guess I think like for gyms, a lot of the fear is around, most gyms are in confined spaces.
Yeah.
They're in office blocks with air conditioning, like there's no fresh air getting in.
No sun getting in.
Yeah, like jiu-jitsu,
No
like,
UV.
you go to any cold country and all of their gyms have to be indoors. Whereas ours, we're very fortunate for the most part of the year, it's pretty warm, so we can have the doors open, plenty of airflow going through.
And not a lot of, there's not as many people coming through a small gym like ours.
It's true, we
Like
don't have 2,000 members.
Wow, well, I was working at Fitness First in Darlinghurst. We had 2,000 swipes a day.
Fuck, no
Yeah,
way.
That's how many people were coming in and out, and you couldn't open a window, and the air was recycled. And I was getting like flu symptoms every like 3 months, kind of thing.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was full on. Like you're constantly fighting some germ.
Yeah.
That kind of environment's not healthy.
And
fucking
you're
horrible.
using equipment that like 1,000 of those people have all fucking sat on that
Yeah.
day. They've all sweat on it.
Sweated
They've
on
all
it.
coughed on it.
Yeah,
It's got fabric on it and shit. Like
Yeah.
it's a real
Carpeted.
fucking cesspit.
yeah, it's fucking gross.
Carpet, man, that's a really interesting one. I remember going to like a Bikram studio, and you guys ever done Bikram? You sweat fucking buckets, mate.
It's very strange having
90
carpet
minutes,
and
you're just
something like
leaking the whole time. Like,
Carpet it.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're all
and you're on
carpeted.
carpet, and like you got your yoga
Very
mat,
strange.
but like I got like torrents of fucking sweat running off the mat onto the carpet. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Apparently they stink when they don't have the heating on.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it would be putrid.
Oh fuck.
Bikram's, do you hear what happened to that guy?
With the fucking.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
did they lock him up?
I don't know.
No.
He's a-
I watched the doc on Netflix
Is he
recently.
he's got creepy.
And-
Is it worth
and-
what? Good doco?
It's interesting. Doesn't make you feel good. It's
Yeah, he's creepy
but
He's
he's
feel good doco.
at the end. The very end of it was the most alarming because I'm watching this whole thing and it seems like a bit of a modern history historical account. And at the very end, they're showing footage and pictures of him doing these retreats in Mexico or just at the end of last year.
Oh wow.
Oh, so
is
he's
it
still
Mexico?
operating.
Yeah, he's out
What
there.
What did he do?
You know how you had that doctor's appointment?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, he's doing those.
No, yeah. So, look, I can't quite recall. I mean, he was.
Was he selling his? Was he selling his semen, or was he just saying that it's like worth $1 million for a drop of it?
I don't know
Really?
about
Yeah,
that
there was
part.
claims about things like that apparently.
Okay, I don't know about that part. I don't remember that being the doco, but he allegedly sexually assaulted a few people.
Right.
And he'd have
What a
these.
creep.
Yeah, for sure. And he had these teachers' training camps, and there were 5 days, and they were a particular place, and they all stayed in the same hotel that he ran downstairs in the huge conference room. And then at night, they would do yada yada, and he'd call people up to his room in the middle of the night
Oh,
to
creep.
massage him. And he had the weirdest thing is, it was just like creating this whole culture around,
Him.
touching and him and being, massaging each other. And he forced himself onto, there's a few people, including one person who came to visit him at his house, and stayed over the night. And anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, man, it's pretty creepy. But like I
A lot of
said,
similarities to the whole Weinstein thing.
Yeah,
I read a
bit.
book on that earlier this year. And
Okay.
it was
He's
same
creep.
kind of thing. Fucking
He's
Such a
now
mega creep.
25 years.
25 years, huh? That'll see him out to the end.
Oh, yeah, I'd say so.
So good, man. He was fucked up, but it was the same kind of
He-
thing.
what's
It was kind of
25?
rape.
Oh,
He
sorry,
got
yes,
25 years
He got
imprisonment.
25. Wow.
So good. He's just normal, like kind of within his world. And the people who are working with him, he was like normalizing the
Yes.
abuse in a sense.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, it just happens, you know?
Yeah.
Part of the job.
Yeah.
Creep. Bloody creeps.
yeah, man.
Everywhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, we can't finish on such a negative note.
No, that's a tough one
What's
to
positive
call it
coming
on. I don't know, what's good?
What do you got?
Well, I can't fucking train jiu-jitsu, so there's nothing good about that.
I wanted to say, on our...
We got our mental health workshop.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do have that. Yeah, that's March 28th.
So we're going to be, coming out of the back of that, we're going to be equipped to understand more how to identify people that might be going through things, how we can help them.
Yeah, that's the main thing, I think, is understanding what mental health is, the ins and outs, the types of it, and then being able to identify the signs, the onset signs.
Nice.
I think that's what this response course is a lot about. And then, how to... First response.
Yeah.
How would you deal with it? There's a second course that they offer. I think that one goes into goes in depth more on the whole subject of how to respond. I would love to do that one at a later date for sure. So anyway, it's Saturday. It's here in the gym. It's really cool. They come out, and it's Ben Higgs that comes out, and he's the founder of Rise Foundation. And if you go to his website and check out his story, it's pretty cool. You've met him, T.
Yep.
You met him on the beach. He's a local Maroubra guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah, but he's got an interesting story, and I think that besides the information that he's going to pass across, I think coming from a guy like him with his background of bipolar, I believe.
Yeah.
And if you have a look at a picture of him, he's got a history. He's kind of a interesting character. He's got a lot of tats on him and stuff, and I think it's going to be just an interesting speaker as well as providing like some tools for us. But yeah, it comes out to the gym. It's a 6-hour course, and we're going to do it on a Saturday afternoon.
So cool.
Yeah, and
I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'd like to, if it goes well, do them kind of every so often, and kind of be like a spot or like a venue where they can come and we just kind of we're known that we hold them, and when people want to do them, we want those type of people in our gym to come and run the workshops whenever they want.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's
good
a
space.
big part of what we do, hey?
Yeah, I think so, and I think anyone, like you said at the beginning, would benefit from it. It's not just coaches, but right now,
Yes.
the world that
Anyone.
we're living in, everyone could really be upskilled on this. You don't have to be someone who's coaching, and so I think it's cool. It'll be good. So that's coming up. What else we got going?
Fuck. That's a bit.
There's a fair bit.
Fair bit.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it there.
Yeah. Sure.
Gents, thanks for the talk today, boys. Good to catch up.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you want any help from us, junglebrothers.com. Get us at Jungle Brothers Movement on Instagram. Or just come down to the gym and see us if you want to do some training, or if you want some help with your training off-site. We do personal training, group stuff, whatever you need. Thanks to our coffee sponsor, Panavore, Legends. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.